And we're live. Hey guys, this is McDev. We're back at another lesson with FreeCodeCamp, and this one is giving a background color to a div. Now, this is something that as you continue to develop web pages, you just cannot get away from this. And if you can, it's because you're probably not using CSS and you're just doing something different. Um, so let's dive into this. We're going to break this down, as always, into three parts. We're going to go over the overview and make sure we understand what we're supposed to do and that we're learning something here. And then second, we're going to go into the solution. And then finally, if there's anything interesting, any kind of bonus content we can cover through this, we'll do that at the end. All right, so let's get started. Give a background color to a div element. You can set an element, it's really any element that it would work for, which is most of them. You can set an element's background color with the property background color. For example, if you wanted an element's background color to be green, you'd put this within your style element. Green background, and then we have background color, and then we have the color. Create a class called silver background with the background color of silver. Assign this class to your div element. Okay, so we have two parts. Part one, we need to create a class called silver background and fill it out. And then part two is we need to find the div element and wire those two things together by putting the class name inside the div element. So let's jump into the solution. Okay, this is called silver, if I can write, background. And then we need to add these brackets, and everything inside the bracket belongs to the class. And then we're going to say background color is silver. No need for quotes. All right, so as we can see, nothing on our web page has changed yet. And if we remember, it's because we haven't wired things together. We created the class, but our HTML element is still missing it. So I'm going to copy and paste because I am struggling with the typing today. All right, where is this div element? We could control search it, but here we have a div tag. And it looks like the next one is right here. So this div element is like it's the parent, and it contains all of these other elements. So you can think of it like a box, like a container. And the beginning of the container is this opening tag, and the end of the container is this closing tag. So now we need to add the class to it. So in order to add the class, we need to access the opening tag. Let's say class equals, I'm going to put the name of the class in there, silver background. And this is updating live, so we immediately see that we now have a silver background on all of these elements that are inside that div. Okay, so I believe this is the solution. We're going to run the test just to make sure. Bam, we did it. Awesome. So now for some bonus content, because there's a lot of cool bunny trails we could go down with this. Things that you might not know you can do that would be cool to know. One is that for the background color, you can make it a background image. And that is different than just putting an image in your web page like the cat element. There's just a different way, different things you can do with it, a different way to approach it. Another thing you can do is you can make it a gradient, and you can add so many different layers to the gradient. You can do something kind of cool. Big subtle gradients are kind of an in thing right now as far as web design trends, especially like the really blurry ones, which I don't know how well you can accomplish easily with CSS gradients. Usually those are done in like a photo editor, taking colors and then just making them real blurry and just real blend together and stuff, like a super soft gradient. So that's two things you can do with it. And then for the last bit of bonus content, we have been using colors in this course for a while, and we're probably going to learn more how to use them, but I think it would be more interesting than to just say, hey, I want a generic red color, or I want, that's awful looking, a generic green color, or blue. These are just these are just these generic colors. You can actually use other things. You can use like RGB. This is one way. And then we need 3 values. So I'm just going to do a gray, 100, 100, 100. Oops. And that's gray because red, green, blue are all set to 100 out of 0 to 255. So if I increase the red to maximum, it's going to make it red. And you're probably not going to just play around with the RGB values to get the color you want. You'll probably just do a color picker, find the values, and then paste it in here. And an example of that are there these I think they're called hex codes for the colors. And my favorite one, well, the most popular one is FFF, which is white. You can't tell the difference. Is BBB black? No, it's just like this gray. But my favorite one is coffee. And it's not a coffee color. It's just C0FFEE. And it's this really cool, like turquoisey color. And so we have our coffee class. So that's it for today's lesson. If you're interested in learning more about those different things I mentioned, like the gradients or the background image, you can keep going through the FreeCodeCamp course. Also, another good resource where you could find out about it, just like right now as you're Googling, is the W3 schools. They're very beginner-friendly and pro-friendly. Although, yeah, so enjoy that. And